Delightful people, Tater here, welcome to Tater Games. Today we're talking roughly about creating reward systems within your projects. Now obviously we have great games out there that reward you for doing absolutely nothing. Candy Crush. I was looking at Candy Crush and they overtly reward people, and in some cases playing games is purely for the reward purpose, in some cases. You know, they say some people can't find success elsewhere, so they play video games and they suddenly feel success, which in this day and age you can actually earn money, so that's actually legitimate success now. A while ago you were just some sweaty guy in a basement with a beard and a terrible moustache drinking coffee and wishing ill upon everybody else. But enough about that person that we know absolutely nothing about. Let's take a look at some awesome ways that we can make people feel rewarded without actually rewarding them. Ooh, Skinner Burgers, old family recipe. Every app does this in some sense. Now I thought I'd make my own little app, and it's going to be part of a 3-part experiment, which I'm not actually going to tell you about right now. It's going to be a little surprise, possibly 2 videos from now. Depending on how fast I can work, the faster you can actually see it. However, I'm going to show you project number 1. So you're going to notice contestant number 1 is wearing a lovely banana dress, made from the world's finest hues, proudly picked out by Adobe. Of course, this lovely game is going to be a part of the experiment, but I'm also going to try and market it properly, and a lot of people may ask, hey, what happened to that really simple game you were making before? Well, that sucked. Actually, I did upload it to Google Play Developer, then I forgot to publish it. Because I'm an idiot. Because some of us have lives outside of YouTube. I'm not one of those people. So you're going to notice every time we land on one of these tables using the old toucharoo method, then it spawns some form of reward system depending on how accurate our landing was. I can't tell you how to judge accuracy, that's my daddy's secret. He doesn't do anything related to game development, but I can tell you how we create this reward system. Now, not a lot of people new to Unity will have been using this animation system before, but know that the animation component that you can chuck on game objects can actually animate anything within that game object. As long as it's changeable in some way or form, this can include the transform positions, of course, so you can actually animate rotation, scale, and position if you so choose. In this case, however, we have a bunch of UI text. Now, if you don't know how to create UI text, you go to game object, go down to UI, and then of course instantiate some awesome text prefabs. Then of course make sure it's under a canvas. By default this should be doing this. Now of course you know that whenever we want to call this, we just play the animation for this system. We can do all of this via the script, but of course the animation has to be attached to the animation component. A little bit confusing, so I'll just clarify. There is an animation clip, which is, let's say, me moving, and there is of course an animation component which controls whether or not me is moving. Let's say I am static and we have an animation and we really want me to perform this animation, which we'll call weird Fortnite dance. We really want to play it, and we can actually call this throughout the script, and throughout the script we are going to judge whether or not our distance was really good or really bad and all that type of stuff, but we want one specific animation to be called so that it looks like it's coming and going blah. But you see, we actually need an animation clip to play before we can actually play it. How do we do this? We go to Window, and then of course we open up the Animation tab. The Animation tab is awesome because you can create animations. Why am I standing like this? I have no clue. You can create animations using Unity rather than taking it into an external software and creating an animation clip there. Of course, this version actually has its limitations. Now, the reason why we do it in this order is because the animation needs to be legacy and not Mechanim. Mechanim uses something else called an animator. Do not use this. We are only animating text. We do not need any movement or judgment or anything like that. Unless, of course, you want the animation to have more than one state, then you can use animation or animator. Open up the animation window. You can, of course, go to create, but make sure that you have the game object that you have the text on that you want to animate. You must have this selected, then, of course, go to create, and you're going to notice there are a lot of keyframes there. Those keyframes are keyframes. Basically, the way an animation works, it's going to tween or link between 2 keyframes. For example, let's say one of our dance moves is here and the other one is here. In order to link the 2, we're going to have to select the first keyframe and giving it our starting position, or our starting rotation, or our starting scale, and we can do any of this by adding a property. Of course, you can add a property and then choose what you want. For this, I actually just use scale and rotation. Then, of course, selecting the last keyframe, you can actually change. You can, of course, right-click and add a few keyframes within it to actually get more than just one one motion. Since we are only saying 1 or 2 words and we want it to disappear and reappear whenever we want to actually use it, then we are going to actually set the start and end to 0 on the scale side. Then within it, we're going to change the scale up to 1 within a very brief millisecond, and then of course we're going to animate a little bit of rotation there so it gets a little bit of a wiggle. Now you can animate this within the animator itself, but if you want to animate it from the inspector, which means you can create keyframes and actually change numbers and stuff like that live time between the inspector and the animation, then you want to hit that little record button on the top left. Very handy, very simple. Make sure you take off record and then you can click play, and then of course see what your animation looks like. In my case it looks like this, which I'm very happy with, so I'm going to leave it. Then going back to our game object, we're going to see whether or not the animation is actually attached to it by going down to the animations, which is an array. Then of course, as long as it's in there, we can actually play it from a script, and we can play it using this script right here. And Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. So a massive thanks to all our patrons coming up on the screen right now, and a very big thanks to myself, Ollie, who's actually making a website for us, which is awesome. It's tater.games. Go check it out and give him feedback. You can find him on the Discord channel. And of course, if you aren't a patron yet and want to see this channel actually kick off the ground, get some more people in here, get them talking about stuff other than just programming and, you know, all the knickknacks of Unity, then of course you can support the patron by going to patreon.com/tatergames. Very simple. Very easy. I'll see you there. So if they're doing well, it's going to say, awesome. Oh, yippee. Well done. That is one steamed ham. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. I thought this might help a few little newbie people out who don't know how to use animations, which is actually one of the coolest things that I have most recently learned. So I'm with you guys on this. I'm a newbie too. So I hope you're all having a fabulous day. I'm going to finish my coffee, enjoy my day, and of course try and get this game done so I can show you guys the experiment that I am proposing. So have a very productive day, guys. I'll see you next time.